This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, health, tax, professional advice. We're not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast. This podcast is not intended to replace professional medical advice. The views expressed in this podcast may not be those of the host or the management. This podcast may contain adult theme, so parental discretion is advised. So today's guest is a man whose life story turns adversity into authority. Dr. Charles W. Powell II is a scholar, entrepreneur, and disability advocate who transformed blindness into brilliance. From founding Divine Visions Consulting to launching the Blind But Not Broken movement, Dr. Powell is living proof that faith can rewrite any narrative. So welcome, Dr. Powell. I'm so honored to have you in my presence.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It is truly a blessing to be here.
Yes. So, could it take us back to the moment when you lost your sight? And what was that experience emotionally and spiritually for you?
Oh my God. Basically, emotionally, it was a series of emotions. It was anger, it was hate, it was madness, it was fear, it was confusion. It was just totally a emotional roller coaster. As far as spiritual, I am a very spiritual person, God-fearing man, but at that time, my spirit was shaken. My faith was definitely shaken. I lashed out, and at the point in time, I was asking God, why me? Why have He forsaken me to this
Mhm.
harsh reality?
Yes. Yes. I think a lot of us have that moment where we feel that, we've done everything we're supposed to do and we can't see the logic behind why is this happening to me? And we put ourselves in the same position that, when Christ was saying, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? But he had to go to that trial like you had to go to that trial, and a lot of us have to go to that trial for something that is better there for us.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So I know you shared that you fell into depression and addiction. What helped you to climb out of this darkness, that particular darkness? What helped you?
Two words, my fiance and my daughter. I didn't want to do nothing. I just wanted to have a self-destructive pity party. I started drinking every day, all day, and that was my reality. I just wanted to wake up to drink and go to sleep to drink, to numb the pain and to forget what happened. But my fiance's constant being there, my daughter definitely was the catalyst for the change. She seen how I wasn't playing with her no more, how I wasn't spending time with her. And at the time, she's only 5 years old. And one
Yes.
day she asked me, she was like, Daddy, why don't you love me anymore? I was like, well, I've always loved you and I always will love you, baby, but I'm blind. I can't do a lot of things I used to do. And she made a statement that was so profound today that this broke me. She said, well, Daddy, I'll close my eyes and I'll be blind with you, and that way we can play the way we used to.
Oh my goodness.
And
Oh.
that statement, that
Mm.
that statement
Deep.
just broke me, and that was the catalyst that made me realize that, you know what, if this little girl can close her eyes to be blind and play with me, I can live with my eyes closed and still be, the man that I was intended to be.
Out of the mouth of babes. Oh. That was very powerful. Very powerful. You said I lost my sight but not my life. What does that phrase now mean to you at this present time?
At this
What it means to you?
at this present time, I lost my sight, but not my life is definitely a mantra that God is good. As long as I can wake up and take that first breath, I give honor to God. And I know as long as I am amongst the living, there is still a chance for me to get it right. There is still that possibility that I can make a difference and be different.
Yes, that is so true. I especially in what is happening in our world today, every time you open your eyes and you take that breath, it's a gift. It is definitely a gift, you know?
Yes, it
Yes,
is. A
yes,
new
yes.
beginning. Every time you open, every day that God blesses us to see another day and be here, it is a new beginning. And with that beginning, they say if you got the faith of a mustard seed, a mountain will move. So that is how I see every day. Every day when God blesses me to wake up, I thank Him for another day and I pray that I can be better that day than I was before and continue to move on.
Yes, that is so true. So what does it mean to lead with vision when physical sight is no longer part of the equation?
To me, To me, I gained the most clear vision I've ever had in my life the day I lost my sight. To lead
Wow.
with vision beyond sight is basically the best thing in the world. When I could see, I was distracted and I was blinded by all the physical things that society says or, contribute as beauty, as nice, as good looking. So now that I'm leading with vision without sight, I am not so easily distracted. I feel the heart of a person. I feel the soul of a person and I feel the intentions of society. So when they say sight is basically your eyes, no, now my eyes is my heart. My eyes are my sight is my ears, my heart, and my intuition. So I walk by faith. And like I said, my vision is so clear now that I have no physical sight that I feel that I'm better for that.
Is it, I know that person said that when they lose certain senses, the other senses are heightened. Do you think it's something like that, or it's more of a spiritual awakening of?
For me, it was more of a reality and a spiritual awakening. For so many times before I lost my sight, I judged people, I judged situations, I judged things on the physical aspects of it. And I was not seeing the real picture. I was not getting a clear perception. So now that I can no longer be distracted by the physical beauty or the physical appearance of things and people, I see them for who they truly are, what they truly are.
You see the inner man.
Yes.
That's interesting. That's interesting. You said after you earn multiple degrees, you still face employment barriers. Could you give me some example? I'm interested to hear, some of the examples that you could probably give us.
Basically, after I got over the pity party, I stopped drinking every day and I decided to live again. I chose to go back to school to further my education to be more employable. I started off with an associate's degree, a certificate in paralegal studies, just to get a job to help my family's financial stability. Once I got finished my associate's degree, I went on to my bachelor's, which was a dual bachelor's. I got a dual bachelor's in criminal justice and crime scene investigation and homeland security. I put in resume after resume to all the law firms, all of the companies out here that's trying to get a job. When they seen my resume, they called me in for an interview. But once I got in there, it's like the whole atmosphere changed. So basically that went on up until I was getting my triple masters, and I had a dual bachelor's and two masters, and I was still washing dishes at Chick-fil-A. I mean, basically, they wouldn't give me the open door for the legal profession that I wanted. So I washed dishes. It was a job. It paid me a check every 2 weeks. So that was my job up until I started my doctoral degree.
So, so how did you get that that foot through the door? How did that happen?
I didn't get the foot in the door. I actually created my own door. I created a company that back when it started was Divine Visions Consulting and Paralegal Services LLC, which today we're doing business as Divine Visions Enterprise. When I started Divine Visions Consulting and Paralegal Services LLC, it was basically a resource. I was doing legal paperwork, legal research, and there's small things in the community. So I helped out a few people in the community. And then once I got my doctorate degree, I started adding on to the legal consulting and paralegal services to business consulting, business management, and business structuring. So that's where Divine Visions Consulting and Paralegal Services LLC, now doing business as Divine Visions Enterprise, came from. When they didn't give me a job in the criminal justice arena, I created my own job. I stopped asking to sit at their table and built my own table.
I don't know. I thought I'd read somewhere where I don't know if it's a law firm or some company took you and sort of remodel their office to suit your situation. I probably
Excuse
misread.
me?
No, I said that I thought I had read something where you had actually gotten a job in a top firm where they sort of use your skill set, but
Yes,
modify.
yes, I did. Once I was washing dishes, before I actually started Divine Visions, I decided to quit my dishwashing job at the beginning of 2022 and focus on my company. And then as I started focusing on my company, I got a email from a oil and gas company who was very well known. They're one of the biggest oil and gas companies in the country. And I told them basically in the email, thank you, but I let them know I was blind because I didn't want to go on a roller coaster again. But they told me that yes, they knew I was blind. So I went to the interview and they actually gave me the opportunity to work at this oil and gas company as a paralegal and a administrative assistant. So basically, I worked with them from March of 2022 to November of 2023. In November of 2023, I was already in the midst and very deep into writing my doctoral study, my doctoral dissertation, which I needed to complete so I can get my degree. And anyone who ever been on a doctoral journey know that is not a part-time job. Writing your dissertation is a full-time job. So I've actually stopped working at the oil and gas company to finish up my degree so I can go ahead and graduate in June of 2024.
Hey, all right. Because I know I read something.
Yes, it was a company out there, and
Yes,
this company, I take my hat off to them and I give them the utmost respect because,
yes.
like I said, they're one of the well-known oil and gas companies in the country, and they gave me that opportunity. And I will forever be thankful for them. But even when I was working there, I don't think my full potential was being utilized. I was getting some paralegal work and it paid a good check, but I still wanted to do more in the criminal justice arena. So I think by leaving that company, continuing to finish up my dissertation was a blessing in disguise. A lot of people will say, well, the timing was off, they paid a good check. Why aren't you still there? But that did give me the opportunity to go ahead and graduate and build onto my company even stronger.
There you go. There you go. So you have your business, so what are some of the challenges that, you face as a blind entrepreneur? You know, what are some of those that those challenges that you experience?
Everything, my experiences is they, first of all, people see the cane and physical, differability. They see the blindness and they underestimate me. They don't think that I'm capable. But what they do not see is the education behind me. More than the education, I have life experience. I have determination. I'm disciplined to do what I want to do and what I love to do. I feel like one of the things that people are, one of the challenges I face, they count me out before they give me the opportunity. It's like all of those jobs, the law firms, the companies who seen my resume and brought me in for an interview. Once they seen my resume, they was calling, they was emailing, and we couldn't wait to get me in for an interview. And when I walk into the room, you can just feel the atmosphere change. So they judge me without even giving me half of the opportunity.
Right. But you know, that's sort of typical when you go in organizations and you don't fit the norm. You're more the exception. You tend to be treated differently. You know, the expectation. Or sometimes even your accent. A lot of people, because you don't speak like that, they figure that, well, the intelligence isn't there, you don't speak.
That is one of the things that society needs to change. Society has always tried to separate or divide us for one reason or another. It can be your
Exactly.
accent, it can be your race, it can be your gender, it can be your
Right.
sexuality, it can be your physical appearance. As long
Right.
as we continue to separate, we're never going to make it as a society or as mankind.
Yes.
We need to know and understand that we're all God's children, and the times that
Right.
we're living in today, we need to put those outdated stereotypes and
Exactly.
diversity prejudices behind us and move better so we can do better.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's talk about Blind but Not Broken. What inspired that creation? What message does it carry?
Blind but Not Broken is my movement. It's basically a movement to tell the world that I am blind, I am not broken.
Mm-hmm.
I got so tired of hearing people telling my fiance, oh, you dress him so nicely. Oh, you do this so much for him. You do that. And she like, he dresses himself. He
Mm-hmm.
does for himself. And when I am somewhere and people speak to my fiance or speak around me, like if we go to a restaurant, what would he like? I'm like,
Like you're not there.
I'm sitting right here. I can hear you. I'm a boy. I'm a real man. I mean,
There you go.
so Blind but Not Broken is basically my movement that's wanna, educate society, destroy the outdated stereotypes about blindness, and also be that figure for other blind and sight impaired individuals out there. I want them to know that, okay, we're not taking this no more. We are here. We're blind but not broken. And my character for Blind but Not Broken is a character that's titled the Blind Unbroken Hustler. He is unapologetic. He is uncensored. He is that hood individual who
There
does
you go.
man, he demands respect. Like
Mm,
you have Daredevil, Matt Murdock got Daredevil, Clark Kent
mm.
got Superman,
There
them
you
and
go.
Slim Shady. Dr. Powell has the Blind Unbroken Hustler.
All
I will
right.
I will address it as Dr. Powell on an educational, on the scholarly manner. I can say so much education wise and quote statistics, but the blind unbroken hustler, he don't care about the statistics. You shut the door in his face, he's gonna kick it in. You
Mm-hmm.
tell him no, he gonna scream yeah. So he is the leader of that movement. He is my, I ain't gonna say alter ego, he's my persona who's just, he speaks where Dr. Powell shouldn't speak. Where I gotta be politically correct, he don't care. So the blind but not broken movement,
You're unbothered.
yeah, yeah. The blind but not broken movement, that is definitely my brainchild. I love the movement. It allows me to advocate for the blind and sight impaired community as well as educate society. So that movement is definitely close to my heart.
Is it just in the, well, how far does it span?
Blind but not broken is nationwide now.
Nationwide, okay.
I go on social media today and I see so many hashtag blind but not broken, and it's funny because it was just something that I thought about, something I was just doing here. But if I'm on social media now, I am getting people who are reaching out from me for different podcasts, different talk shows, different blind organizations who want to be a part of the Blind But Not Broken movement. And along with that movement, the Blind Unbroken Hustler, we got the Unbroken Army. And the Unbroken Army is not only for blind and sight impaired individuals, it's anyone who is living with a disability who is tired of being overlooked and underestimated. So we don't only speak for the blind community, we stand strong and advocate for all who's living with a disability. We will bring advocacy to everyone. We, with Divine Visions Enterprise, if you're being discriminated against for a disability, we fight the disability laws. We help people get their disability benefits. So we're not only just talking it, we're actually doing it. One can't survive without the other. Divine Visions Enterprise, we are the legal and we're the business structure. The blind but not broken, they're the streets, they're the movement, but we will defend that movement with everything we got at Divine Visions Enterprise.
Okay, okay. So what are some of the most common misconception about blindness that you want to dismantle?
When you say blindness, you see the man standing on the corner with a cane and a cup begging for change. We are no longer begging for change on the corner. We are bringing about the change to society. I want people to know that just because we walk with a cane or we have no physical sight, we're not useless. We're not, we shouldn't be looked over. We can do any and everything that a sighted person can do besides drive a car, ride a motorcycle, and fly an airplane. Just like you guys work in offices, we work in offices. Just like you guys watch TV, we watch TV shows too. We just do it different. That is one of my things. I don't have a disability. I have a differability because I just do things differently. I am so tired of people thinking that blindness means that we're useless, that we're helpless. Stop thinking that, because we will surprise you. Mind you, when I lost my sight, I barely had a high school diploma. I graduated high school barely. After I lost my sight, I earned dual bachelor's, triple master's, and a doctor's degree. I did all of that blind. You don't have many sighted people can say they got that much education.
Yep, that's so true. That's so true. That's so true. So if you could speak to your younger self right now before you lost your sight, what would you say to him?
always, always believe in God. Trust that there's a purpose and there's a method to all the madness of life. Never give up on yourself. If you believe in God, keep your faith and have strong belief that you can do anything through Christ. Go for the ride. Don't give up. Don't let people, my younger self, I was quick to judge people. Stop. I would tell them, close your eyes. Don't see people for the physical form. Just see them for who they truly are. Because as a younger person, when I had sight, I got in a lot of situations that I shouldn't have been in just because my sight has deceived me. I
Right.
thought something looked good, but it was the worst thing ever for me. I thought situations was clear and I knew what I was looking at. And all again, the perception changed. So
Right.
I would tell my younger self, take sight out of the equation of life. Don't judge a book by its cover like they always say.
So what's one story from your journey that still gives you chills, when you
Oh,
share it? What's one story that
one
gives you
story that
chills?
gives me chills that this happened so recently. I graduated with my doctorate degree in 2024. And earlier this year, in August of this year, one of my professors invited me back to speak to students who are in the doctoral program who's trying to get their doctorates. Now, this whole time, the professor who invited me back, I'm so used to calling him doctor this, doctor that, and I'm addressing him with respect. But when I got up to speak to those who are going through to get their doctorates, I was introduced as Dr. Charles W. Powell II.
Oh,
They
wow.
were no longer my professors, they were my colleagues. And I got to sit there and I spoke to individuals who was facing different challenges in life, going through different circumstances. But I got to sit there and tell them that once you cross that line, it is worth it. And that really made me look back, not only at my doctorate degree, But from 13 years ago, when I lost my sight, I thought my life was over. I thought that I was gonna have to rely on disability benefits for my financial stability. I thought my fiance would leave me because I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't, she deserved better. So just being at that point, speaking to those individuals, let me see where God has brought me in 13 years. I had never imagined, I could never imagine that I'll be sitting here talking to you where people actually want to hear my story, who I can encourage other people to stay in the fight, to strive on regardless of their circumstances. So that one thing brought me chills when I seen where God has brought me from to where I am now.
Yes.
I remember breaking down, crying, thinking my life was over, thinking that there was no future for me. But now I got people listening to my story across the country. Only God.
But God. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Because people surprise people sometimes you might not think you're that rememberable, but you are. You are rememberable. People are gonna remember you just because of the excellence that you put forward with what you had. Just like Moses, I tell people all the time, I love the story when God asked Moses, what you have in your hand? What is in your hand? And he said, our rod. And God said, use what is in your hand. Use
Yeah.
what is in your hand. I always remember that and tell people, don't look at what other people have. God give you something and he's equipped you to use it. If he gave it to you, he's going to equip you to use it.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I strongly believe. So what's next for Dr. Powell?
What's next?
What's next for Dr. Powell? Dr. Charles W. Powell II. What's next for you?
Well, basically, it's the same thing in the beginning, just to educate and advocate for the blind and sight impaired. I am working on my book, Blind But Not Broken, A Journey of Vision Beyond Sight. I
Mhm.
am collaborating with the Blind Professionals Network, which we offer services for blind and sight impaired individuals. We help them get job ready. We give them technology training. It's all about uplifting the blind community. And I'm also working with Blind Professionals Network again on BPN, Workplace Solutions. We are basically reaching out to different companies, different places of employment to give them education and train them so they can hire blind and sight impaired people. All of the challenges that I faced, all of the fears that they had to bring me in their office, like a lot of them was afraid that a blind person would their insurance will go up or their liability
Yeah.
or something would happen. So with BPN Workplace Solutions, we have a team of blind professionals who are reaching out to companies who are letting them know, like, listen, we can educate you on how to work with a blind employer. We can, test your computer system to make it accessible with the screen readers that blind individuals use so they would have the opportunity to work in your office. We give them DITA training and workshops to let them know, like, okay, here's what it is, here's what you can do to accommodate a blind person. Because what a lot of companies, law firms, and stores don't know, even organizations, you do not know what you're passing up when you look at an individual and see that they're blind or sight impaired. Because one, we got to work 3 times as hard just to be seen as equal. If they give the opportunity to any individual with any kind of disability, or whether it's blindness, whether it's being deaf, whether it's been in a wheelchair, whatever, they already have that notion and that stigma from society that they're less than. So we're going in offices working 3 times as hard. We're going to be the first ones to show up and the last ones to leave because we feel we still have something to prove. So if companies can't see where we will benefit them, it's their loss. But that is what I'm working on, my book, and collaborating to continue to work with the Blind Professionals Network to uplift and build a future and open doors for blind and sight impaired individuals.
Okay, as you wrap up, I want to find out if our listeners would like to find out how to support your mission, and if anybody is on a journey, a transformative journey like what you went on, how they can get in touch with you. So if you could give us that information.
You can visit my website at www.divinvisionsenterprise.com. You can reach me by email at info@divinvisionsenterprise.com. For more personal communications with me, I can be reached at Dr. Charles, drcharles, at divinvisionsenterprise.com.
So I have one here that says Divine Vision Consulting, LIC at gmail.com. That's your personal, that's the company's email, right?
No, we are changing over from Divine Visions Consulting and Paralegal Services LLC to Divine Visions Enterprise. We
Okay.
are taking all of our communications through info@divinvisionsenterprise.com or Dr. Charles at divinevisionenterprise.com.
Okay.
We still have the Divine Visions Consulting LLC at gmail.com, but we're slowly transferring that over. For everyone who done business with us before and reached us through Divine Visions Consulting LLC at gmail.com, we still have that email. We still check it, but we're trying to transfer everyone over to the Divine Visions Enterprise because basically we're transferring over because from consulting and paralegal services, we offer so much more now. When we achieved our doctorates in business administration with the focus in management and finance, we have so much more to offer the community. We have so much more to offer society. And like I said, if they want to learn everything that we offer and what we're doing, they can visit us at www.divinevisionsenterprise.com.
Okay. What I'm gonna ask you to do, if you can send me that information, I will put it in the podcast notes that persons can access it. All right. So thank you so much, for showing us that blindness isn't the end. It's
Definitely not the
it's
end.
definitely a new beginning. And I appreciate you and I honor you today and the work that you're doing.
Thank you very much for having me. It was truly a blessing.